Hello everyone, today I play Grim Dawn Forgotten Gods for the first time with the Playmaster. So, okay. I took my game crashed for a sec. The emissary.
We speak at last. As I am sure you know, there
Indeed
are
we
many who
do.
now cast their gaze upon you, traveler. Or should I say, taker. Some who mean you ill. Some who fear your potential. Then there are those who command me. You know them well, for their attendance mark is upon you. They wish to collect upon this gift.
Collect? Meaning what?
I cannot speak of such things in this place. The cursed gaze of our foes is cast upon us here, so I will be brief. Great powers are gathering within the distant lands of the fallen Corvan people, and the Great Eye has decreed that you must play a part, whatever that may be. Will you answer our summons? Will you join me through the portal? Or do the mortal concerns of these people outweigh the calls of fate?
And who might these masters of yours might be?
You have not met them, but you've sought out their temple. Do not fear. You have mutual interests and the same enemies. If we work together, we can triumph where the individual cannot.
I see. So many words, yet nothing has been said. What is the stand of the current people?
Far to the east, beyond mountains and rivers, weeks of travel by foot, a mere instant through an eldritch gate. My masters have granted me the means to return there, but only if accompanied by you. I will not fail
By
in this
me?
task.
Specifically, wow. Well, I'm flattered. And what happens if you fail? I'm really curious right now. Anyway, I guess I trust you because, hey, we gotta start somewhere. Alright, I wonder what this is. But there it is. Through the portal. Conclave of the Tree. Okay. Alright. I see what they did. So this is the old mammoth area, base game area. Alright.
So,
So
you have come, as the Oracle of Dreeg had foreseen. But are you truly prepared for what's in store for you in this forsaken land?
what is this place?
You are in the Corvan Basin, a land ravaged by gods and man alike. A land whose secrets are now coveted by a determined few. As for this camp, this is the Conclave of the Three. Very much like the sanctum you've discovered in the marshes outside of Burwich. Here the three cults set aside their disagreements and join as one against our mutual foes. Foes which threaten your existence as well, I might add.
And what do you need me for?
The three have decreed that I seek out worthy allies in our battle against a common foe. But are you indeed the one we seek? First, you must prove yourself.
Well, you came all this way. You sought me out, and now you're not sure if you're seeking me? Hmm. Alright, what do I have to do?
Go to the center of the camp before the statues. Kanatha, mistress of the Sentinels, awaits you to begin the Eldritch rites. Conquer whatever horrors assault you from the Eldritch realm, and we shall have our answer.
Alright. Anything you'd wish to
In
say?
time, all your questions will have answers of their own. But first,
Alright,
rites.
so be it. Go to Slayer.
Safe storage, no questions
Okay. Oh,
I'll
I
keep your stash safe.
wanna search all these.
It's safe with me. Promise.
Alright. Thanks for no one somebody's getting calling you brought your share. You have to make an exchange for some iron bars. Um huh? What do I need this for? I offer a humble service, no strings attached. Bring iron bits in exchange you will receive iron bars. Pass these on to your allies or perhaps your alter egos. Oh, under heroes. If they bring them to me, then I will happily take them off their hands for their original value. Maybe another time. Harold, what are you working on? Do you not hear me? Let me spell out for you. Leave me alone. Less time spent with the forsaken sun-covered armpit of the world, the better, and you serve no purpose but to slow me down. Now leave me alone so I can get my work done and get out of here. What's wrong? I mean, let's keep pestering him. You're really not listening, are you? You want to know what's wrong? They dragged me here. They dragged me out of this forsaken furnace on a fool's errand to chase some hopeless maniac through the desert. My clothes are soaked with sweat. That is until it all evaporates underneath the slit sun. My skin burns, there is sand in my everything, and there isn't much as a drop of booze as far as the eye can see. Anything else you'd like to show the press? Top it off, I lie awake, freezing to death, while all manner of ghastly beasts spend the night screaming and moaning to each other at the edge of camp. So you could say I'm a bit upset with my current situation. Now get lost and let me finish my work. That sounds pretty terrible. We're officially done talking now. Alright. Mika, hi there, you look lost. Is there something I can help you with? What is this place? The gathering of those faithful to the three convergence of powers this world has not yet seen. All of us will go here much like you are. The three? Really that all your element? The three, the witch gods, Bismael, Drake, and Soleo. The very reasons why we're standing here this day. We are, all of us, bound to their will. To serve them is to have purpose, and now we have been called into their service as well. What are we doing here? Each of us has our role to play, but all of us are here because the three demanded it. A forgotten thread rises to the north, one that may consume this land if we falter or delay. There are some in this camp who are skeptical of this, but they are fools to question the gods. The threat is real, and we will all know it soon enough. Who's the emissary? Well now, that is a good question. The emissary has been in service in the tree for a very long time. Some say since the beginning, which would make him hundreds of years old. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but there is no doubt he has been one of their most fervent servants. He goes where the tree will not, recruiting talented individuals in their name or scouring them from existence should their refusal be perceived as a threat to the gods. I suspect many here were once recruited by him, including yours truly. Alright, thanks Flamebow, I guess. Ah, you're the one they've been talking about. Worked with Cymon and his band of marine fanatics back in Homestead. I'll tell you what, if it weren't for that, for what you've done since I'd end your life where you stand. Wow. Oh, somebody doesn't like me. Excuse me? You heard me. I don't know why they've allowed you into this camp, but I assure you I'll be looking for a good reason to remove you from the land of the living. And why is that? You see, all of these people, they're gathered here because that foolish maniac Father Cymon has been meddling with powers he can't control. Uh-oh. Something you helped him do. I did? Whether you realize or not. Oh. Maybe that, I think it was the medallion he was looking for. Was it Ash? I think that's Vigil looked for Ashes. Anyway, if it were up to me, you'd be cut down just for setting foot in this camp. So what if you don't side with Paimon? Then what sets up the events of this land? Then I'd love to see you try. Ooh, am I asking for a fight now? Oh, no fights yet.
Stay out of my way, and we'll get along just fine.
Alright.
So, you are what the emissary has brought us. Are you prepared for the trials ahead? This should prove entertaining.
Perhaps you'd prefer to test me yourself?
That would be brief.
What is this supposed to mean? Good thing that's not the test? Is it a good thing for me or for him? Whatever.
Serve the three and prosper. Deny?
Yeah. I'm a bit busy right now. Come back and see me when you're finished with the emissary. Alright. Hopefully, if I don't forget. Nothing here. So far, so good. Seems like a really beautiful area. This is...
Hey there, traveler.
Please, come on. Come back and chat with me when you're done with the emissary. Yeah, okay, I will.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Oh. They mentioned new factions and stuff. Disco Fire. Was one to all in Outkeeper. Okay. So they have acid, vitality, elemental damage, lightning adder, physical with cold, piercing bleeding, and adder, and fire kicks. Okay, so they have more or less everything.
Put it to good use. I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Really? Okay, so these are all the ones that I don't need
I'll give you a good price
in
on
this
what I've got
character.
left.
These guys suffer missing physical, what's it
Fire
called?
well spent.
What is the rails? Oh, down there, I guess.
Let me clear your mind of
Oh.
regrets.
I didn't see you.
I sense turmoil within you.
You
Stay
are
strong.
wrong. Staying strong.
Perfectly safe illusions.
The illusionist.
Greetings, Seeker.
Nice chat.
See anything you like? Put it to good use. Come see
Oh
what's
yeah,
left of my
I
wares.
forgot. I kind of want to sell these.
Iron well spent.
Scrap metal.
Who's this?
Gonna need more scrap metal.
And he gives retaliation damage or health or healing effects increase.
Go on now.
I wanted to check. Is it this one? I don't remember.
Come see what's
Oh,
left
yeah.
of my wares.
So there's surveyors. Then on trauma physical. Okay, never mind. I'll probably side with these guys. Then sword. Okay, but it's gonna do me no good. Still has some physical, I assume. Oh, alright.
Iron well spent.
So let's see. Having here. For the purpose, let the sacrifice echo across the conclave that our brother Jairus was found worthy of bearing his life before Soleil's blade. Few are granted the honor, and few still have the will to accept the burden for the benefit of us all. And so it was with our brother, who not only willingly stepped forward to feed Soleil's hunger, he had Soleil's sigils painted upon his bare chest as he paraded himself in the center of the conclave. Larger than life, he stood proudly before Satan in his curved witchblade and proclaimed to all that today marks the first day of their victory against the usurper. Jairus kneeled, as was customary, but his eyes never turned away from the vicar's stoic gaze. As was set down upon his Leo, Sagan uttered sacred words and slid his forefinger to paint a rune upon Jared's forehead. Then the vicar stood behind the sacrifice and placed the sacred blade upon his throat. This was the chosen's last chance to back down. Though, to be perfectly honest, such a disgrace would likely end in death anyway. Jared looked ahead with confidence. His face was beaming with pride, such was his fate. Ursula began to cry when Satan slit his throat and plunged his other hand, drenched in black flames, into Jared's chest. Satan removed the dead man's heart in a swift motion and drank deep of the lifeblood spilling forth. Jared's body slumped to the ground, his eyes still staring forward. Several attendants sought his cremation as the vicar delivered the heart to Slaya's shrine. The heart was placed in an ornate bowl and incinerated, and as it burned, the runes upon the shrine grew brighter. Saleo was pleased. They entered, smiling with bloody lips. Bet he did. Hadn't seen the weapon. There are ulterior motives to my selecting this location for our conclave. The Drake seers have no doubt have no doubt felt it by now, and your spider yourself suspected. Yes, the veil is thin here, and yes, that enables the crows to better work with the gifts of the Eldritch realm. But another source of power lies buried at our fingertips. At my behest, one of our most gifted scholars in the veil's mysteries, Mazan, is working on harnessing this power. As well known, there are other realms, other constructs of the primordial gods. The statues adorning the sacred place are more than just mere decoration. They are conduits between realities and could be manipulated to form a gateway with enough force of will. I believe Mazan is close to a breakthrough, and once he succeeds, we will have an entire realm of untapped potential to harness for our purposes. I, for one, am eager to see what we uncover if the past experience is any indication. And yet the usurper. Praises be upon the three, praises be upon their wisdom, their foresight, and their pity upon mankind. For without their blessings we would be as worthless husks, devoid of the gifts of the eldritch realm, and at the mercy of the luminary hounds. Curses be upon the usurper, the burning vengeance, the Corwin destroyer. Curses be upon his lust for the eldritch thrones, the pinnacle of the gods. May he die a thousand deaths, as Drake suffers 1,000 festering wounds. May his insides fill with spiders and his eyes turn into ash by eldritch fire. All this we invoke upon the usurper of the eldritch powers, powers meant to be wielded by the true gods and their servants. We march through the blistering sands and into the heart of flame, the whispers of Drake in our ears, sounds of Bismail at our side, the black flame of Soleil upon our blades. None shall be spared before our wrath. By the gifts of our patrons we will reclaim what is theirs, and through our blood shall spill, and though our blood shall spill upon the Corwin sands, it will be done in honor of the true masters of humanity. Alright, that was... Oh, hurry there.
The oracles of Dreeg spoke of your arrival. Their mad choir whispers of you marching alongside our forces into the tomb of the Eldritch Sun and emerging triumphant. But even their eyes cannot peer into what I offer. The Shattered Realm is unlike anything mankind has ever witnessed, teeming with wealth and power beyond imagining, but also dangers not unlike those that we face even now on Cairn. But before you can enter this treacherous reality, I must know that you are indeed the one the oracles speak of. Earn your place within our camp, and we can speak more of the Shattered Realm's mysteries.
Okay. But before I go though, what is the Shadow Realm?
It is very much a reflection of our own physical reality, but broken and distorted. Whatever entity
Shadow.
crafted this realm, it seems it has long vanished, and with its absence, the world crumbles. As far as I know, it goes on forever, but as its light fades, so the insatiable darkness consumes it. The deeper you dig, the tougher the opposition may become. Occasionally, you may encounter powerful guardians of the realm that will seek to stop you. But should you triumph against them, vast wealth awaits. Upon entering the Shattered Realm, you will appear within a shard. The way forward will only open once you've gathered enough souls from its forsaken denizens. I shall keep the way open for you, so that you can return during your current journey.
I see. How can I prove myself?
The Shattered Realm is not some playground. It carries great risks, and I must know you are prepared. Speak to the emissary, earn a right to battle alongside one of the cults gathered here, and we shall speak again.
Alright.
The emissary warned me of your coming, but whether you may remain here is not a matter of his choosing. I will decide who stays and who dies. Are you prepared to face the trials?
What are these trials?
Save your questions for the scholars. If you are to survive out here, then you must be tested against the terrors of the Eldritch Realm. Are you prepared to begin or not?
No, I am not. Why is your role here?
Right now, my role here is to determine whether you are worth the risks of bringing into our fold.
Ah,
Now, are you ready to begin or not?
alright, I'm ready. Actually, I forgot to do my towels. No biggie.
The emissary
That
was
was it?
right, as usual. You have earned the right to stand among us in the real trials to come.
And what trials are those?
Our battle against the fiery fury boiling beneath the sands, of course. A forgotten god stirs. An ancient enemy of mankind threatens to destroy us all. We must rise to face this threat before all is lost.
Okay, so once again, what is your role here?
By the blessing of the Covenant, I am the mistress of the Sentinels. Those sworn to guard the interests of the Three and the survival of our people answer to me. They swear their oaths to the gods and to me.
Alright. So I should now on my way to the emissary.
I could hear the battle from here. So then, are you ready to open your eyes to powers beyond imagining? To secrets better left uncovered?
I have some questions first. I imagine you do. Why is this place so important? Cymon Basin was once home to a culture deeply rooted in tradition and faith, where an oath made upon the temple steps was worth more than gold. Here was a land of purity by far, of virtue through those faith to a god of unfathomable power, but such blind belief can prove dangerous, as the Cymon people learned. Tragedy struck as the land was torn asunder by violent eruptions and the people scattered to the winds to escape the fury of their celestial patron. Now this same being, the forgotten deity, turns once more, and if none stand against it, it may not be just the Cymon Basin that suffers this time around. Okay, another question. Who are your masters? I'm the humble servant of the witch gods. By their guiding hand, the secrets of the other realm are revealed to me. All they ask for in exchange is loyalty and sacrifice. Oh, is that all? Those gathered here have given much of themselves, and they will give much more still if the three demand it. Okay, another question. What is this grave threat? A god long forgotten has re-emerged. It is a malevolent and spiteful creature that has ravaged this land and would do the same to all of Cairn if given the chance. You have heard of the dead god Catan, no doubt, and that there is his bones even in death. This god, Orvak, is very much alive, and its followers grow in number and strength each day. And I could say, The working of these beings appeared even to the witch gods themselves, and so we are here to put a stop to its return before it's too late. Oh, maybe requests for these guys will reduce my reputation with Cymons. About to see, I guess. Where are the witch gods? Should they not be helping? That's a good question, actually. The actions of the three are not for us to comprehend, but I suspect it is by their combined wills that we even stand here now and are not already at the mercy of the forgotten gods' vengeance. I assure you that while they do not show themselves as they are keenly aware of all that transpires here. So what did you bring me here for?
Ah, yes, ever driven by action. I admire your conviction. The fated hour is nearly upon us. Soon we shall strike as one against our formidable foe. But we cannot act rashly. Precautions must be taken. Each of the cults is preparing in their own way. Speak to the masters of the cults of Bismiel, Drieg, and Salile. Learn of their methods and align yourself to one cause. Draenus, Basilla, and Sagon are already expecting you.
Okay. So that's another choice. Why must I choose the cult?
While we may be allies in this endeavor, the cults do not always see eye to eye on all matters.
See.
It is best for the sake of peace that you assist only one of the cults. Do not be concerned, though. The others will not see you as a foe for your decision. Not here. Besides, you may not find all the methods we employ agreeable. Speak to the cult leaders, learn of their ways, and make your choice.
Which cult do you belong to? None.
When I first stood before the witch gods, I said to them that I shall serve in this life and the next if need be, but I shall only ever serve the three. Not Bismiel, not Drieg, not Salile. And so, I am the herald of the gods, the one who spreads their message and finds worthy allies. All the cults look to my guidance. Even the gods have sought my counsel in the past.
Alright, I'll speak to them, I guess. They also added some new constellations. More physical damage constellations. Yes, please. I may actually make some changes here in the future. Ooh, attack speed. Okay, so this requires 12 purples, 6 yellows, 8 blues. Probably won't go for that one, but I can grab this one. Easy peasy. Alright, I won't look at all of the constellations right now. Gonna have to at some point.
You show promise. Perhaps you would be of value to Salile. It remains to be seen if the emissary was right about you.
Mr. Salile, why should I help you?
Salile does not need your help, but that does not mean we cannot benefit one another. Only those willing to make any sacrifice, to go to any ends necessary, are of use to Salile. The world is ripe with power for the taking, if you have the will to claim it. Bismil and Drieg hope to manipulate events to glean a favorable future. Salile knows that the mighty carve their own future.
What can you tell me about Sleo?
Salile is the youngest of the three, but do not mistake that for weakness. His mastery of the Eldritch fire is without equal. The very essence of the Eldritch realm is for him to mold as he sees fit, and he shares this knowledge with his loyal servants. But such power does not come without sacrifice. Some must die so that others can bask in his glory. The ultimate display of loyalty.
Right. Sleo seems cruel.
Cruel? The world is cruel. Salile expects great sacrifice, yes, but in return he gifts us with unfathomable power. What god worshipped in the fallen empire can offer the same?
Alright, I need to speak to the other guys. Just to check with you, was it here?
Come see what's left of my wares.
Okay, so there she was offering physical and internal trauma. Right. What do I have here? Oh, I may not need that much anyway. I'm gonna quickly check them once again, but I didn't see any. It was this. Oh, in health percent, which is pretty nice, and armor percent, very defensive one. No physical though.
Iron well spent.
Okay.
You see anything you like?
These max stats. It might actually be the same or very similar in terms of damage percentages. Are you the same level? I keep coming back. Level 90, 94 for the space. Alright. Oh, 3 different fractions this time if you need something very specific.
Well, look what we've got here.
Yep, decision. Seems the emissary is left with a bit of choice to make, and which will it be? Bismail and her weapon spies, Drake with the fancy visions, or maybe Soleo with the ritual sacrifice. That last one sounds like a winner to me. Really? Which do you serve? What, me? I certainly don't serve any of them. I serve the god of making rigs a wealthy man. Alright. Then what are you doing here? Oh, I'm what you might call a supplier, a purveyor of particular goods, if you will. I have a special talent for finding high-end and difficult to acquire objects. Things this crew here can't seem to get enough of. Particularly since they set out on their little crusade here. Something about a long-forgotten god and the end of the world or some such. Sounds like business as usual to me. A wise man once said, where there is a fight, there is a fortune to be made. Who said that? Me, a fool. I just said that. It was just a joke. It was a joke, you see. So, you're a merchant? Well, that's an oversimplification. You see, those other trash peddlers down there, they've got it all wrong. Selling goods for iron bits is a child's game. A man isn't going to get rich playing games. I'll say so. No, my friend, I trade only the finest goods for favors. Favors from very powerful people, favors that I'll be cashing in when I see fit. So you just give them things? No, I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying here. I give them things in exchange for favors. They're in my debt. They owe me, you see? There's people all across this land that owe me, from emperors to dung sifters. The living, the dead, it makes no difference. They're in my debt, and when I need it most, I'm going to come calling. That's worth right there. Okay. How do we make them pay? Usually. Ah, that's the genius of it right there. So many people across this land are in my debt, you never know who they might be or what they might be capable of. Say I make a deal with a wealthy merchant, then later on when I come to collect my debt he doesn't feel like paying. I pleasantly remind him that there is a lot of other folks looking to make good on their debts, and then leave him to think about who else might owe me and what they might be willing to do to pay up. That usually works. If it doesn't, I just get one of my other debtors to come and tune him up a bit. Sometimes you need to send a message to anyone else might be thinking about defaulting on their debt. But most folks are glad to pay up when it comes time. It's a relief of a sort. Alright, you have anything for me? See, now you're getting it. That's what I'm talking about. He wants to make a deal. Let me think for a second. Yes, come think of it, I do have something for you. You know what this means, of course? You're going to owe me, and someday I'm going to come to collect. You'll have a deal. Um, well, you didn't show me or tell me what you're giving me, so nope, not yet, I guess.
The weeping spines do not lie. You have come to fragment the memories of the forgotten. But who will stand by your side? Will you step into the spider's web? Or will you kindle the flame? Or perhaps you will weep for the eye that sees all.
You sir Drake, why should I help you?
Much purpose flows within you. Allow me to temper that potential. Through the great guardian's eyes, we shall divine the true path beyond humanity's struggles. Let the others play with their eldritch toys and arcane spectacles. It falls upon us to strike the balance.
What can you tell me about Drake?
Drake is the oldest of the witch gods. He sought to know all, to witness the truth in the fabric of our reality. He cast aside the ancient warnings, threw caution to the wind, and reached beyond the curtain that seeks to blind us of true sight. Even his knowledge and wisdom did not prepare him for what he witnessed. The event changed him irrevocably, and while his mortal eyes were forever blind, so his eldritch eyes had opened. For the first time in his life, Drake saw the world for what it truly was. And he saw rot. Drake does not distract himself with the folly of mortal pursuits. In the end of all things, we must strike balance.
Okay, Drake can see the future?
The strands of fate have been exposed to his infinite gaze. His wounds weep for our future, just as his reach seeks a path through the calamities that still await.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Okay, so this was the other section there for me, some, let's go. Maybe? Oh, just here. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna make use of any of these items. Not in this character anyway.
You've been quite a sight since entering our camp. I'm shivering with anticipation for what's next. But will you be at my side? Or would you rather waste your time on the minions of Drieg and Salile?
You serve Bismil? Why should I help you?
My dear, who needs to see the future when you can manipulate it from the shadows? Salile would have you play with fire and get burnt. But Bismil offers you the true gifts of the Eldritch realm. Every hound, every raven, every fiend that's ever crossed the Veil can and will serve the schemer. All are bound within the web. No move can be made without tugging at the strings, until finally, the spider strikes.
Okay, what can you tell me about Bismil?
A favorite legend among the rabble is that the secrets of the Eldritch realm were whispered in the goddess's ear by a spider. I believe it happened on a night of fire and passion, of betrayal and lust for power. The Lady of Whispers always gets her way in the end. It was by her machinations that the Empire's inquisitors spent centuries aimlessly hunting for the witch god cults, their efforts confounded by the endless weave of decoys and lies. Only a select few are trusted in knowing the span of Bismil's web. I have the honor of sitting at its center.
Bismil is a spider?
Bismil is like a dreadweave widow, sultry, manipulative, and deadly. But no, she is not a spider in the physical sense. The schemer takes on many forms, all a means to an end. A pompous oligarch, an unassuming beggar, a seductress. All the faces of Bismil. If you would ever be so blessed to witness her true form, then you are already dead.
Alright.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Let's see what we offering. See, that's not bad actually.
See you around.
Alright, I wanna go check these items over here.
See anything you like?
Maybe that will help me. Yeah, I'm really not sure. And I won't be able to change sides later on, I assume, so Drake seems like the only reasonable one. So that begs the question, what is he hiding?
The weeping spines do not lie. You have come to fragment the memories of the forgotten. But who will step?
See anything you like?
Maybe I should try and roleplay this first time,
See you around.
and then I can switch sides later on.
The weeping spines do not lie.
That's
You
what
have
I'm
come
gonna
to
do.
fragment. Much purpose flows within you.
Alright,
Allow me to temper that
how about
potential.
let's see
Through
what
the great guardian's
trades
eyes, we shall divine the
here.
truth. I spoke of this moment, and we must not squander it. We shall carve a fate not even the primordial one can foresee.
What must we do?
I shall open my ears to the will of the great guardian and exact his commands. A great flame burns within the temple, and we will drown it in tides of blood. The forgotten has become unforgotten, and so it falls to us to remedy that error. As for you, you must speak to Kira here at my camp. She has been offered a taste of what's still to come. Her tongue will utter the words, and you must heed their call as if they were mine.
Okay.
The skies weep blood and the earth rages beneath us. Where do we stand in this war of titans? I am to
Titans?
tell you of what the Great Guardian desires. Will you hear me?
Does everybody worshipping Drake speak like this?
If you were blessed by the kiss of destiny, you too would make peace with her silken tongue. The gift we bear is a heavy burden. Not all are fit to transcend its meanings.
So what needs to be done?
Our seers sing guiding words. A path has revealed itself which we must follow. Visions of horrific beings, servants of the great fury known only as Korvac, have manifested within the Corvin Basin. If our task is to succeed, we must vanquish these foes before they form the hammer of Korvac's anvil. Travel to the Temple of Osir to the north and hunt down Okaloths Unchained. Then proceed northwest to the Corvin Sands and deal with the packhounds of Galfang. Finally, you must venture to the Karen Docks, north of the Sands, and deal with the Guardians of Ishtar.
Alright. So that's it, I guess. This guy's offering shady deals. A good deal.
Yes, the Great Guardian has foreseen this. A bold decision. I hope
Has
the
he?
maddening whispers of Dreeg's prophecies do not drive you insane, as they have so many others. Traveler, can you spare a minute?
Feel like you might be able to help me. Sure, what do you need? It's my brother, so I was supposed to meet them back here last night, but they haven't shown up yet. We split up yesterday morning outside the Garen docks to the north. There is a temple under the ruins there. They couldn't leave it alone, just had to go for one more. Two of them just can't control themselves. For my fooling, I would have been right there with them but I was already loaded up with as much as I could carry. I told them to meet me back here. That was the last I heard of either of them. I'd go back out there and look for them myself, but I should stay here in case they come back. If you're headed out past the wall, we'll keep an eye out for them. They've got to be somewhere between here and the Karen Docks. I guess I'll find your brothers, dead or alive. Alright. And so it begins. Well, that's something. Alright, so many ways. Where do I go first? Master Arcanum, that visual, look here, it wasn't one of Cymon's zealots. I'm not here to fight you. There are greater threats about. Have you come to atone for your errors, or do you serve the forgotten god as well? What do you mean? I think you know exactly what I mean. You chose to side with that bastard and his little band of fools back in Sorrow's Bastion. With their hope, he nearly wiped out all of our men stationed here, and look where that's gotten us. We were chasing the old fool through this wasteland where he plans to resurrect an ancient god that's bent on vengeance. And it looks like he might just pull it off, so thank you for that. You're welcome. I didn't know. Of course not. It's not like we tried to warn you or anything. I suppose you were even convinced that he found a way to defeat the Catanians. I think he may truly have believed that himself. The gullible will believe anything, particularly in desperate times like these. But that's all behind us. What matters now is what you're doing. What you're going to do to help us stop him. You're going to help us, aren't you? No. Not really. Not this time around. I forgot. Oh, so I'll be gathering reputation with all of them, maybe? There might be a way to piss them off, who knows? I was looking for primaries. Yeah, everything is maxed out for now. Oh, these lands are so expensive. I have a lot of stuff storing. Wait, I actually forgot about my quest. Didn't I have to be here? Okay, that's nothing really. Alright. cool trick. I found the number 4, so I kinda wanna go back and explore those starting areas. Wait, so how do you get down there? The left stuff. There is a way to open this? Maybe not yet. Okay, well, I don't see a way down right now. These areas might be connected. If you go down there. Nope. This is not a thing. Right? Yeah. Well, I don't know then. I guess it's gonna stay as a mystery. Yeah, so I'm getting a reputation. Although then I just have a little bit more for the Drake, and I may be forced to turn against the other ones at some point. It's like the day night cycle. It's much faster here, probably because of the sands and the fact how bright it is during the day. Okay. Is it probably the Lost Brothers? Oh, look at that. Alright.
That's still not ready.
Wait. How do I... What is this there? How did I even kill the guy? Okay. What's up? Oh, 10-3. You got here just in time. Those things had us going on. Listen, we're in no condition to continue, but we need to get out of here. Do you think you could help us? Seriously, not die. I mean, I probably won't, but... Yep. Where will we go? We need to get these plots back to the Conclave, but there is no way we're going to make it out there. Do you have some way of getting us all out of here safely? Yes, indeed I do. I can open the gates. Is there any safer than our rooms, the other rooms? You know what? It doesn't matter. Whatever you need to. Whatever it takes to get us out of here. Yep. Anyway, I guess since I'm closer, I'll keep investigating this way. I'm gonna have to go back at some point. Alright, we hit another area. Is there damage? Alright. Alright, seemingly no photos around, I found several shots. The server's already scorched. There's quite both money. Maybe going to restore this potential. Okay, so that's the thing. Oh, what the heck? That is a big pack. Oh, it's in Jeffrey as well. Right, so here's some of those Oh, there it is. Alright. Going to the portal. And these knockouts. I don't need this. Alright, going back. Really? You want to come fly? Really? On the trap? I'm surprised. Hey, friendly. My shrine found. Not for the new one. Some sort of a secret room or something. It won't be that bad. I think that the entrance that I found was something like that. Alright, sure, yeah, I'll end the shrine you on the way then. Make the point. Oh, pretty hard. There's actually some reflector guy. I don't know who it was, might have been a bug. Yay. I almost missed that actually. Nothing here. Some interesting conversation on the map, but seemingly there's nothing there. Oh, really? Yeah, maybe I won't. Yeah, I will photo outside. Yep. That's crazy. Wow, it was just one hit. I mean, I wasn't full HP, I know, but still. I to sell some
I
stuff.
sense turmoil within you.
You. Where are all the vendors?
See anything you like?
Yes. Plus 1533 health. Insane. Nice try. Okay, but oh, I have 2 pieces in this set. I was about to say I don't know how that is going to work out in Ultimate. There will be a significant resistance drop. I guess not.
Put it to good use.
Alright, well, I laid down a portal. See if I can kill that guy. It didn't seem like I could destroy any of those orbs. They're kind of okay, what am I supposed to do here? Just his orbs are killing me. Oh. Yeah, I don't know, I can't figure it out. There has to be some way to disable them, maybe? Maybe they're firing specific order, and I didn't pay attention to that. Alright, not that bad. some of those might require you to use new abilities. That may be what's going on.
I could use some help over here.
I think my leg is broken. Harold sent me. Harold sent you? Every 2 years. A guy worries like an old woman. He's always after us to be careful and watch out for each other. Though I guess he was right this time. He's always right. It's incredibly annoying. Where's your brother? I don't know. I mean, he told me to run it. He looked horrified, so I booked it. I never looked back and checked on him. The whole temple started shaking. It was like an earthquake or something. I fell coming up the stairs, busted my leg up pretty bad. When I yelled out for Andron to help me, he wasn't there, so I hauled myself the rest of the way up the stairs. He stood down the temple? Must be. He certainly didn't pass me on his way out. I'll go down there looking for him, but I can walk, not with my leg like this. Are you going down there to find him? Sure, but first let's get you out of here. How are you going to do that? I'm certainly not walking out like this. Alright. Alright, that should be fine.
Hey, stop fiddling with my body!
You shouldn't go around messing with every random corpse you come across. You dead? Yeah, no kidding. You're a smart one, ain't ya? Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. It's just a new thing for me. Being dead? Yeah, being dead. Are you going with me? I gotta be honest, stranger. I don't feel dead. I mean, I can see you there poking around my corpse, but here I am, just standing here. I guess I'm a ghost or something. What do you know about that? Your brother sent me to find you. Arrow and Arak? So Arrow made it out alright. And that damn lot. When I told him to run, I didn't mean for him to take off on me. I suppose I can blame him. I probably scared the pants of him screaming about how we had to get out of here. What happened down here? Well, we got down the heart of the temple expecting to find nothing but skeletons and a bunch of loot. But there's a crazy old man down there with an army of ghosts, without so much as saying hello. The old tree cast some sort of spell at me. I panicked and dodged arrow to run. We took off for the exit like a couple of scared kids, and the whole place started shaking, rocks falling from the ceiling and everything. I was dodging left and right, but I think one of them must have clocked me right in the melon, because everything went black all of a sudden. Then the next thing I remember is sitting down, the juice open around my body. Must be the old man's spell that turned me into a ghost or whatever this is. Something tells me I ain't getting out of here till somebody puts a stop to that old bastard scheming. Don't suppose you're up for a fight. Wanna go down there and break some sense into that old weirdo? Sure, why not? More corpses going around. Dead already. Another shot. Skill's not ready. Oh crap. Dead end. Oh, look at that. Okay. probably don't. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. And he should be dead. Never mind. can try and remove this final cushion. Maybe useful later on. And it doesn't seem that difficult to clear as well. Is that a thing? Oh, I have no way to get there. Never mind. I don't check here, I guess. Yep. That's what I thought. I might miss notes.
Skill's not ready.
Alright. I'm out of here. Seems like I have plenty to explore anyway. Who is killing me? Nice price.
That skill's not ready.
Alright, nothing here. Okay, I should definitely go back and sell some stuff. Oh, 99% lightning resistant. What? Alright, very interesting once again, but looking for poison resist. To be honest, I don't even know what I'm looking for. I have to go back to Ultimate and see. Alright. Please, I want a bunch of stuff stashed. I think that's it. Yep.
Safe with me. Promise.
That is it. Oh, this is a lot of text. I can also finish my quests with my XP.
The thread is spun, the weave of our destinies unfolds. You return triumphant.
Indeed I do. I have dealt with Korvak's horrors. Yes.
Korvak's wounds weep in terror of our actions. We must now drive the blade deeper, deeper into the very heart of those who wish to cripple our sight.
So another target remains?
Indeed. Before we can dance on the divine stage, we must first conquer the hubris rotting from within. The visions of Dreeg can be as much gift as curse. Some among us have succumbed to the dreams, become consumed by the fruit of fates untold. Whenever this occurs, we sear the wound from the flesh of our collective. But an external force bound to Korvak's will has caused these fools to rise in sickly frequency. One such as this has evaded our blade. She now claims to see the true path forward and has fled the camp before we could reach her. But she is naive to think she can hide from the Great Eye. Go to the Sunbane Oasis, east of the Karen docks, and find a place called the Sanctuary of Horan. Naven the Usurper sought it for safety, but it shall become her tomb by your hand.
I will deal with this traitor. Alright. And you?
Hello again, traveler.
Thank you for bringing my brothers back. Well, what's left of them. I'm glad I can help. I have to be honest, and this all very strange. I don't really know how this is happening. The thing with the ghost, I suppose I don't really care. I think my brother is as much Andren as he was when he was alive. I'm just glad to have him back. Oh, so you see him as well? What is Andren's ghost doing here? You're asking me? I have no idea. I've heard stories about people raising the dead or summoning ancient spirits, but I've never heard of anything like this before. When he first arrived, I thought the witches were playing some sort of cruel joke, but then Taro just started in like nothing had happened. Watching the two of them argue with each other like they did before he died is odd to say the least. It is.
Hello again, traveler.
What's next for the three of you? The two of them are talking about going back to work. Arrow seems to think we can use Andron's new situation to our benefit. It certainly will make getting in and out of those older holes easier. Ika is eager to get us back out there digging through the tombs, and I can't say no to that woman. But it just doesn't seem right. Honestly, the whole thing doesn't seem right. Thanks again for your help though. Alright, good luck. And I guess I should start with some of these. Virgins of the Covenant. I'm certain you have heard the whispers as I had. The mad one is restless, his mind filled with visions of the Burning Ones returning. If the bonds are broken and his power restored, he could unmake everything. I do not have to remind you of the consequences. The triumvirate's fate is bound in this moment. Send word along the spider's web. Rally the servants of Dismail. I invoke the fatal covenant. The forces of the three must converge in the forgotten lands of the Corvan people. Our forces must unite against this threat, or the pyre shall succumb to the vengeful flames. None must be allowed to defy our summons. Any that do are as much enemy as the forces we contend with, and shall be dealt with in kind. We must not allow ourselves to be distracted by the machinations of the terrorists or the bloodletters succumbing to their own doom. The danger they pose pales in comparison to what awaits us if we fail, and if the weapon has done its part, then the interim survivors will at least time their progress long enough for our matters to be settled. Seek out the twin statues, you know of which I speak. The veil there is thin and will serve as an opportune occasion to begin our work. At the request of the Infinite Eye, I have dispatched the emissary to track down valuable allies who will turn the tide in our favor. I consider their lives expendable in pursuit of victory, but one must not tamper with the whims of fate when they are so clearly written before us. By the three thrones will eradicate this threat to our gifts. The world will tremble before the might of the witch gods. Say. Alright. Visions of Terror. This place we have chosen for our vigil, this conclave, it is a cursed land. The veil screams in agony, the whispers from beyond threaten to unravel reality. Every night I've spent here, the visions of the other side came more frequently and with greater clarity. What I first thought were images of darkness turned out to be much more. Within it were the screams of a million souls crying out to me, crying out for mercy. As my dreams solidified, I realized the darkness moved. It cried like a mass of tentacles endlessly searching for something. The sight of it filled me with terror beyond anything I have ever felt. I awoke gasping for breath, and grasping for anything within reach that would remind me that I have left the dream, the children of my fellow seers, sharing the tent. Shaken and unable to sleep, I sought the wisdom of the oracle. To my surprise, or perhaps I should have expected this, my master was already waiting for me inside his tent. Lanterns illuminated him in the flickering light as he sat cross-legged without his usual regalia on a rug with tea set out for us. As he stared ahead with his blank eyes, he gave me a tight-lipped smile and motioned for me to sit. Before I could utter a word, he said, "You go." I was taken aback and blinked. The oracle continued by describing exactly what I had seen in my dreams, as if he had been there to share them with me. The insatiable night, he called it. The eternal darkness that exists in the beyond. It is primordial, unfathomable to the human mind. We see it as a massive fighting tentacles, but what it truly is cannot be described in words. Hugo exists to consume everything, its endless pursuit halted only by the light of the celestial stars. I was told that it is a gift and a burden to bear witness to the makings of reality. What I had seen cannot be unseen. When I started visibly shaking, the oracle placed his palm upon my forehead, and for a moment I could swear his eyes tattoos were staring at me. Here I found myself instantly calmed. When I asked what he had done, he would not say, but he offered to teach me a technique to calm myself, to banish the darkness from my nightmares. It is a lucid method by which I would conjure my own stars into the dream brighter than the desert sun. I thanked him for his wisdom and promised to return the next day for my lesson. As I stood to leave, I glanced in his direction. He was staring ahead as before, a somber expression on his face. His tea remained untouched. I said no more and closed the tent back behind me. It would seem my visions have disturbed the oracle as well, but I trust that his judgment and foresight will carry us through whatever darkness looms on the horizon. I pray to Drake that the oracle's teachings will spare me further nightmares. Alright. The sting. Parchment is covered in what appears to be dried up human bile. Day 4. The common people have been generous with their treasures, hardly a threat in sight. I had to use the fire of my camp to scare off something lurking in the dark last night, but otherwise it had been an easy journey so far. Day 5. Today I was making my way back to the camp when something stunned me, made me feel a bit dizzy. I know a good night's sleep will help me feel right as rain, nothing to be concerned about. Day 6, or is it 7? I'm not sure how long I've slept, but something is definitely wrong. My lips are cracked, my gums are bleeding, and the headache, my gosh, the headache is blinding. The skin feels like it's crawling. Everything hurts so bad I can barely move. What manner of demon stung me? Day 9. I've managed to crawl on my way back to the horse and traveled back south of the basin, but the symptoms have not abated. Twice now I've woken in agony burning up. My skin moves on its own as if something was moving beneath the surface. Day 10. I watched in horror as a fat maggot tore through the flesh of my abdomen from the inside. They're inside me. By the gods, they're feasting while I still live. Well then, my hands are not my own. This is my hand. Oh wait, no, this is your hand. What was it? Something like that? I read this final letter, so those who may find this know what had transpired. Know that I am not a sinister man and would never murder anyone in cold blood, but you did. But there was some evil dwelling within this place. That is precisely what had happened. I came to these lands with my two companions, Arnon and Lilith. After weeks of travel through accursed sands, we at last came to see the spires of colonial ruins. They were stabbing up from the haze of the horizon like the rotten herbs of some great dead god. It was not until we stepped foot inside the forest tomb that I began hearing the woods for a second, asking what the others were muttering about, but they would laugh, saying that I was merely hearing things. As our days of digging and opening tombs continued, I became convinced that they were conspiring to slit my throat. I refused to sleep. I grew weary and delusional. The whispers kept gnawing at my mind. Yesterday, as we made our way into the latest tomb, the voices took their toll. We had found a small opening in the surface through which we were able to descend via rope. As soon as my feet touched the basic tiles, however, I was but a passenger of my own body, trapped behind my own eyes. As my companions moved into the inky depths, my hands reached for the rope and soaked it with lamp oil. I screamed to warn the others, but I had no voice. I stared in horror as our only means of escape vanished in a brief blaze. People inside I found Hanan overlooking a golden railing near a waterfall. My hands came up into my vision as if to push him. I tried to fight my arms down. I commanded my mouth to make any noise, but nothing came of it. I was powerless and I could only watch as his hands shot out in desperation, grasping for anything within reach, the railing, the wall, me. His eyes met mine with the final fearful question, why? Then he was gone, tumbled over the railing and out of sight into the ravine. But it was not far from my grisly deed. I found him admiring the intricate work of gold-encrusted statue. The figure was frightening, with too many arms gripping a razor-sharp halberd as if at the ready to defend the tomb. There was an eerie quality of unlife about it that made my blood run cold. In a flash, my hands were wrapped around Berek's arms and I lifted him with inhuman strength way up into the air before forcing his back onto the statue's weapon. I released him and watched as he slowly slid down the length of the halberd, his blood pouring down along the shaft and pooling at the foot of the statue. It was at that moment, when my last friend was dead and whatever spell had enthralled me had ended. Freed from my mental prison, I screamed and waited and pounded on the cold stones like a distraught child. For a brief moment I could swear I saw a withered face clad in golden armor staring back at me, but then it was gone. I can't say when or how, but I pulled Belek down off the statue, nor do I know how long I lay there holding my dead friend. My mind was broken. There was no hope of escape. I saw to that by my own hand. I became trapped down here to waste away and rot to bone with my fallen companions. I needed to write this, if not for myself then for my friends. I can only pray for their spirits know in their hearts that it was not me, and they will greet me with forgiveness when I see them beyond the veil. God preserve me, my hands were not my own. Okay. Yanya's diary. Father would have me hanged if he knew, but he should be none the wiser. Anne had called to me this evening, whistling like the evening sparrow from the garden below my window. He pleaded with me to join him, and I could not resist. Suddenly we snuck past the night guard, through gardens, over walls, out of sight, down to the docks, where I paused for a moment in amazement. They were ablaze with activity. I couldn't believe my eyes. While the rest of the city slept, the docks positively hummed with activity. I'd never seen them at night. I had grasped my arm and snapped me out of my stupor. He led me down a secret path, running next to the docks out past the last ship. From there we could see the bay stretching out before us, its rippled surface sparkled in the light of Atef. It was more beautiful than I could have imagined. We could see ships entering the bay, their sails like pale specters against the jewel-filled night sky. It was Anarad's plan all along for us to go swimming. Swimming, of all things. Father lost his mind. He's forbidden me to swim. He says it's inappropriate for a young woman. I had promised to teach me, but tonight he guided me down to the shore so I could wade in up to my waist. The water was like a warm bath, and needlefish nibbled at my toes as I walked. I had swam out past the pier, so I could barely make him out against the glimmering water. I thought there are massive fish linger out there waiting for a ship to drop scraps or for someone to fall overboard, but now I think those are mere tales people tell children to keep them from swimming. Why would they want to keep anyone from doing this? It's incredible. I will certainly teach my children to swim in the bay one day. Alright. Desert Coast. Burning waves beckon, calling sweetly in my ear, resealing my thoughts like a golden ocean lay bare before me. The grand expanse conceals countless treasures, hidden tightly away, left where only the most intrepid lord reveal. Though her dangers abound, she lingers in my mind, haunting me as I sleep. There are many others I have loved, of beauty beyond compare, whose pleasures weaken lesser men, but only grip, she has gripped my heart. And though she is the cruelest of lovers, starving and burning those who seek her pleasures, I shall return to her. For the desert calls to me, and I shall always answer. Okay. To hide. Anurag's journal. I got the three of us working with an odd through some bunch of witch worshipping fanatics, but I have my reputations. For one, getting mixed up with such a controversial group may prove more dangerous than it's worth. They also seem like a terribly conflicted lot, all pledging themselves to different deities. None of whom seem to get along very well. They've somehow robbed my brothers into joining their lookout, though I suspect those two aren't buying into the mumbo-jumbo the witches are peddling. More likely they think we'll turn a healthy profit by going along with the whole deal. If that's the case, Arrow and Underan are doing an awfully good job hiding it. They're joining in with daily rituals, kowtowing their new god. It's an outside, those two fools pretending they care for anything other than making themselves rich. I wonder how long it will be until they try to get me to join in with them. I haven't had an opportunity to speak with them about it, but deceiving a group of fanatics like this could be dangerous business. For the time being, the witches have kept this well squared, and there seems to be no shortage of grave robbing they want us to do. I don't exactly know what they're looking for, but they don't seem to have any interest in the usual trinkets. They were rather displeased with our first haul, saying it was all useless junk. We just grab what usually sells well, jewelry, anything that looks expensive, but they said to focus our efforts on items that seem to have greater importance for us, whatever that means. On top of all else, things are heating up in camp. The witches seem to be preparing for something, arguing amongst themselves, making plans in secret. There's a lot of strange people coming and going, and some rather concerning rumors about goings on to the north, in the ruins of Corvin City. We don't have any plans to head out there though. At least I hope not. This morning it's off to the Karen docks for a second run. There's a network of tombs and temples beneath the ruins that the watchers seem particularly interested in. We've been down there before, and most of those places seem like they were built over years ago. Maybe the stuff with auras is still down there. In any case, I will have my hands full keeping Aaron under and out of trouble as usual. Alright, writings of Friar and the Scholar. First entry. I must admit, this place is truly a jewel in the desert. In my travels, I have been to the farthest reaches of the world, seen and experienced much. Sadly, most sites do not live up to their own tales. This place, however, is a marvel that exceeds even the grandest of stories. Transcribing its beauty and grandeur may prove challenging even for me. I arrived via ship at the Karen docks late last night. My chartered merchant vessel called Spire packed the gunwale with fine goods from distant shores. Its captain, a stalwart and resolute sailor whose dedication and leadership shone through in the motivation of his crew. Like a finely tuned machine, they deftly navigated the dangerous waters west of the Corwin River Delta. We first spotted the Grand Pond while still at sea, miles before entering the river where it was located. The Karen beacon shone brightly over the horizon. I do not know what magic powers that ubiquitous signal, but its intense light draws vessels from the seas like moths to a flame. As we sailed upriver, the port began to reveal itself to us like an eager maiden. Countless warm yellow lights gently illuminated polished sandstone structures, some more than 5 stories tall. Beautifully crafted statues and fountains proudly stood watch over the gardens, public spaces that flowed through the Grand Bazaar. The port itself was ablaze with activity. Containers hoisted to and from ships, dock workers and merchants closing deals, and crews taking leave in bars and fine brothels. Mere moments after I set foot on solid ground, for the first time in weeks, I was greeted by my local contact, a beautiful woman of middling age, with an effortless and enticing gait further enhanced by the lovely gold-embroidered gown that hung over her figure like a graceful waterfall. She guided me away from the pier to the heart of the port city and my lodging for the night, which I politely offered to share with her, an advance she graciously denied. Not even this could dampen my mood, however, albeit alone, I had the greatest night of sleep in my life. The bazaar gently rocked me to sleep with the melodic hum of its ceaseless activity. This morning my path takes me north to the capital, Colvin City. I shall join a small caravan that travels there daily along the immaculate stone roads leading to the heart of the city from the four cardinal directions. I can see the path now as I sit and wait in the lovely garden bar just outside my lodging. Its stonework shines in the gentle morning sun. Immaculate golden leaf braziers mark its boundaries as far as the eye can see. With the next leg of my journey arrives the first, it shall truly be the experience of a lifetime. Alright, current expedition, third entry, day 29. It's been 2 tedious and nerve-wracking days since we made landfall. Our time is spent cautiously picking our way through arid canyons and barren valleys with no sign of civilization. We're forced to travel huddled together with armed guards at our flanks, a cumbersome but necessary measure. One of our porters was mauled by an unknown predator while relieving himself. We must be incredibly cautious to prevent further attacks. I'm no expert in the study of animals, but I have witnessed many here that defy my understanding of the natural world. Massive reptiles skulking in the dunes, giant predators with wingspans as large as the ship, beetle-like insects the size of a man. This is a place of deep primordial energy. I feel certain we're on the right path. Day 31. Today we have reached the first true evidence of civilization. Glorious symbolism and crumbled remains of guardian statues that I've previously only seen depicted in text made it abundantly clear that these were indeed the remnants of the Corvan people. Around midday, we walked clear of the insipid and deathly dry desert, and there laid out before us were the sprawling ruins of a once glorious city. Beyond the sand-covered husks of buildings, I could make out the remnants of a massive port and the bones of ancient ships now resting on the dry salt bed. There was no doubt about it. There were the Cayman docks, the port that connected Cologne City to the luxurious trade routes that brought power and riches and toll to these shores. Beyond it, the now barren bay that served as its connection with the outside world. Our efforts are paying off. We were now on the path once held by Ulrichson himself. Day 32. We've uncovered an ancient bathhouse and temple complex at the center of the port city. Our accompaniment insisted on exploring the ruins and carefully cataloging every grain of sand that appeared unique to them. Tried to impress upon them that this was not the intended destination of our expedition and that it was not the time for delays. Not when we were so near, not after so many years of preparation. I will not allow their petty attempts to recover meaningless artifacts to stall our progress. Perhaps the time for more drastic action has come. I will speak with Roderick in private beyond prying eyes. We will reach an agreement as to the appropriate next steps. Captain Greenhouse's log. After more than a month's travel, we've reached the port of Cayman, and a hard month it was. The crew has suffered more than they deserved. During our first week at sea, a freak storm flooded the hold and ruined a fair portion of our better provisions. The stewards being forced to dole out smaller portions than I'm sure he liked. There were more than a few threats to his life come meal times. That the Daring commissions a particularly bold band of native pirates attempted to board the ship from a small canoe as we passed near the Erkan Islands. I didn't know what they were thinking at the time, as they had little chance of sacking the ship. Not one of them was fully dressed, and only 2 of the 5 were armed, if you can call it that. They carried no more than roughly fashioned spears. Little did we know they were so lethal. The crew's response was expectedly concise, and the attempted raid was stopped almost before it started. However, 2 of the crew, Balkan deckhand and Rennet, our new subby, sustained minor injuries from the incident. Both took ill and died no more than a day later. It turned out those half-naked bastards were planning to poison us all in our sleep. They got what they deserved, hog-tied and keel-hauled. Some of the crew suggested less savory ends, but it's important not to allow the rabble to run rampant in such situations. As it is, I allow them to keep the hands. It's foul practice if you ask me, but they do fetch a fine cone if you can source the right buyer. I'm sure the old boats in Eric will have no trouble finding someone to sell them to here. This is to be the first of 3 nights as far as the ship's cargo is sold and her hold replenished. I've given the crew their leave, which I'm sure they will take at local taverns and homes that they will repeat. This is well preserved, no doubt. I shall tend to the ship's business and attempt to sell cargo for our return journey. The current port is truly a sight to behold, many times larger than any this captain has seen in his many years at sea. Hundreds of ships make landfall, and just as many with bellies full of cargo wait in the mouth of the river. The docks turning like a well-oiled machine, and the pristine city beyond glistens in the moonlight as if bathing in its rays. Yet in my short time ashore I have seen the all but hidden evidence of the dark underbelly that bolsters any successful port. Rapidly dealings with the merchants trading on the less fortunate, a ship whose hold is overflowing with bound and chained folk sailing from a far off land. I'm certain our return journey will be profitable one, though I hope to haul a less unsavory cargo. Alright, and finally, Ryan's notes, final entry. Sadly my time here has come to an end, and I find myself back at the Terran docks where I first embarked on this most magnificent journey. I met once again with my captivating local contact. Betrays the name I've learned, and as if this marvelous place were eager to grant me a parting gift, she agreed to share in my final night's lodging. Tomorrow I shall once again board the merchant ship Spar and depart for distant shores. My destination, Cape Helen, and the untamed lands in the light beyond. Then I will attempt to make contact with the indigenous peoples and study their deep understanding of herbal medicine and insatiable penchant for human sacrifice. Wherever my travels take me, I shall certainly cherish my time here in the Current Basin. Alright. Well, I guess this is as correct place as any. I'm going to stop here, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching and see you next time.